The current crisis is telling us that most of the measurements and ideas used in the past were partially wrong.
Now we have learned that we must use different models, usually coming from biology or from IT. The orthodox approach to finance mainly depends on the definition of the efficient markets. Financial markets are able to evaluate the risk. What we learn is that this is not always correct. We should try to remove this assumption with more realistic hypotheses, trying to understand the behavior of players and the way they interact with each other.
What was missing, in my view, is an analysis of systemic risk made in quantitative form through networks and through agent-based modeling. That is the things that we are doing now in this project.
My main contribution to the forecasting of systemic risk in this project has been the development of a novel indicator, which is called debt rank. And the debt rank of an institution is telling us how much the distress of that institution would cause how much loss would cause to the rest of the system.
We use statistical data analysis, complex network, and critical phenomena concepts to analyze bubble formations and crashes in economic systems. Our model identifies a significant portion of the truly failed banks for the period between 2008 and 2011, when over 350 banks in the United States failed.
In the past time, we had only the possibility to measure at several financial indicators relating to statistics or relating to financial time series and so on. Now we have also the possibility to measure the perception of a crisis, so what people think about a crisis.
One of the most important contributions that I did into the project is the analysis of the query log. So an analysis of how people look on the web for certain financial institutions or for job, for mortgages, and this can give a sentiment of the people and can measure the temperature, let's say, of the crisis well in advance.
We have developed a set of tools to monitor social media, to collect news and blogs about financial events, and then extract features like entities, actors, clean the data, and use this data to predict what might happen in the future on financial markets.
My main contribution to the forecasting of crisis in Zurich is the realization of several visualization tools. And specifically, we invented a kind of visualization tool that is the centrality measure of the crisis. So if a financial institution is in the center of the crisis, it appears in a region like a sink, actually.
I believe that in the current approach there is the idea that economics and social science are more or less two separate objects. Instead, we need an interdisciplinary approach.
What's missing in the current approaches to financial crisis is close collaboration among legislators, practitioners, academicians to create and adjust the tools that can be helpful in keeping the financial system more stable, better regulated, and most importantly, away from wide swings between too much regulation right after a crisis and then too little regulation as good times come.
There are certain sectors of the economy that are able to influence the political agenda much more than others, and in particular much more than the majority of the citizens. And this is sometimes leading to the design of policies that are favoring one part of the society and not necessarily the majority of it.
As a scientist, we need to create several tools that normal people can use to avoid this false perception to have just one vision of the economics, but we can have more than one vision.
I believe that FOC was one of the projects that started to build a new science, this science of global systems, in which we try to approach disciplines that traditionally have been considered only from qualitative analysis into a more quantitative analysis and approach and description. This is what we plan will be the approach in the future, and we are very happy to have given our part in that.